What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pin the Gas podcast. It is 2025, and my man, Drill Will Moore, is the first one of 2025. It's an absolute honor to sit down with him. You guys already know who his daughter is. She's an absolute legend, Michaela Moore. But before we get into this podcast, it is sponsored by Next Level Financial. Take control of your financial future. Get your complimentary financial analysis today by Seth Starnes or Will. Man, I say this to everybody. Don't spend your hard-earned money on an off-the-rack suit because it's not going to fit you correctly. Well, for 90% of us, it's not going to fit you correctly, right? I recommend bisontrack.com, right? Listen, people, I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to Will because they're all in Bison. But you that are listening and watching, listen, bisontrack.com. Robert, Tasha, and Carter, and Edith, I can't forget her, and the bunny, and Thor too, right? Most amazing people you're ever going to meet in the paddock. Super, man, listen, nothing but love and great energy. They treat you well. It's super easy to do. You get the suit, the chest protector, the custom gloves, the undersuit, man, the whole nine. They even have boots now. So you can pretty much get the full outfit going, and a KYT helmet. Big shout out to Brandon, Cray too. If you're not in the KYT, I don't know what you guys are wearing, but bisontrack.com, people, let's freaking go. Ladies and gentlemen, Will Moore. What's going on, Will?
What's happening?
I
feel special.
Listen, because you are special. Well, listen, everybody in our sport, in the whole industry, has a beautiful journey on how they got into two wheels and how it transformed and changed your life, right? And I think it's super important to get the dads on here because that's where the beautiful journey starts. It's always the dads, right? I've only had one person on here that said his grandma got him a bike. Right? Yeah, that's what I said. Let's go. Big shout out to grandma. You know who you are out there. But yeah, Will, listen, man, we have a lot to talk about. I want to touch base on how you got started, the military, because I grew up in the military. My dad was a fighter pilot in the Navy. So listen, thank you so much for your service, because without you, Will, me and you wouldn't be able to sit here and do this. Michaela wouldn't be out there winning all the championships. None of that stuff would happen without you. So I appreciate you. Nothing but love. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. So listen, Will, I ask everybody this to start on the podcast. How was your journey? Where did it begin for Two Wheels?
The journey for myself, it began at 6 years old in California. Actually younger than that. I was probably around 4 or 5. Didn't know anything about two wheels. The closest I came to a two-stroke sound was the sound of my grandfather's chainsaw, because he was cut trees and whatnot. He was in the landscape at the time. I didn't know that. I just knew he had a bunch of chainsaws and he was always cutting trees. So my uncle had a dirt bike. And again, when you're a kid and you're not exposed to certain things, you see things, and when they tell you, oh, this is a dirt bike, and you're okay, what about it? And then when he started that rascal up, I was like, I want to get on immediately. You know what I mean? And so even at a young age, my mom was young. It didn't matter to her, so he put me on the tank and took me down the street into the desert. Like, he didn't take me on a short ride. Most kids you take on a short ride. He took me on a ride, and that is one of my fondest memories at a young age, man. Where I'm like, what is this? This is amazing. I got to incorporate this in my life some kind of way, and it was just one of the things that kind of just stuck with me. And throughout the course of the years, I moved to Maryland. We moved around quite a bit. My mom did, moved to Philly. It wasn't until I moved to Maryland with my dad. And then from Maryland to Virginia, I stayed in Virginia with my grandmother. And there were kids in that neighborhood that had dirt bikes. So I was kind of reconnected with the two-wheel aspect. And all I want to do is get on it. You know what I mean? I was an avid bicycle rider, always doing little tricks. And I was one of those kids that was always skidding out and messing around. But once I got around two wheels and it had a motor in it, I needed that. And it probably wasn't until I was like 13 years old, my stepmom, after I got to bugging her enough about it, she finally bought me one. She was like, you get straight A's, you know what I mean? I'll get your motorcycle. So 13 years old, got my first CRF 80. And I rode that thing everywhere. And we lived in an apartment complex, so I was limited to where I can ride. But when I could, I would ride it anywhere I could.
I bet your neighbors loved you too, right?
Oh, they did, man. I was
ding, 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 ding. They're like, here he goes.
Yeah. And so yeah, from there it was just a matter of, you know, your kid. So the primary focus is education. I knew if I did my part in school, I can ride when I wanted. And that was my, main thing. I wasn't into sports very heavy. I didn't get into sports until high school. Um, and I'll take that back. I got into sports like seventh grade. But motorcycles has always been my passion. It was always something I wanted to do. I knew, yeah, I knew it was always going to be around somehow, some way.
Love at first sight. That's what it was for me. I remember crawling out. My parents used to tell me when I was 2, I'd go straight to the screen door, staring at my dad's bike, just pointing, right? Like, I want that. Let's go that, right? It's something that you never forget it. When you lay eyes and it becomes such a passion, you don't realize it at that young of an age, what a passion it really becomes, right? It changes you. It absolutely changed it because it gave me, like you said, a focus and a goal to reach so I can do what I wanted to do, which is ride, right? That's all I ever wanted to do and still do. So, yeah, dude, that's also. I have a question. I'm a dad. You're obviously a dad of a legend, by the way. When your wife got pregnant, did you have aspirations like I'm definitely going to get them on motorcycles, or did you just kind of let them do their own thing, or how'd that play?
I was definitely going to put him on a motorcycle because I knew it was a big part of my life. And for them, I just wanted the exposure. I always felt like, man, if I would have started sooner and if I was around more bikes and kids with bikes, I can definitely see myself, being more a part of the culture. But yeah, when she was pregnant with my son, my first thing wasn't, I'm gonna get him a motorcycle right away. It was just, let's let this joker get here, let's see how he acts, and kind of go from there. Obviously, I had a motorcycle at the time. Her and I both rode, and we were enthusiasts and motorcyclists, but more or less just a young couple just having fun on a motorcycle, going to the little drag racing events. Because at the time, all I knew about racing was drag racing. I didn't know about and I knew about motocross, but we never visited any motocross races or attended. But drag racing for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I got some buddies that are real big into drag racing.
Yeah,
dude, hey, it's 2 wheels. It's great to go watch live, but between me and you and everybody listening, you know what I told them? Man, my grandma can get on this thing and dump the clutch and just pin it and change all gears. Take it to the road course, right? Let's go left and right. Let's see, right? But that's how I always was. I remember watching my first race when I was little on TV, and I was like, not on TV. My dad actually took me to a motocross race. The TV part was the first time that I watched the Island Man TT. My buddy's uncle was like, I know you're into motorcycles because I had one at the time, street bike, high school, first vehicle, not a car, right? I sat down, he introduced me to the TT, and I've been absolutely hooked ever since. I was like, what is this? This is absolutely mental and crazy. But I was like you, I had Rossi. Of course, my wife's like, I'm pregnant. Valentina Rossi, that's his name. She's like, absolutely not. It's not going to be Valentino, right? So I said, well, how about Hayden Rossi? She's like, we can do that because my wife's in love with Nikki Hayden. But what woman is not in love with Nikki Hayden, right? Let's just keep it real. My wife always says that smile. I was like, cool. Go up to him, say hi. If he'll take you out for dinner. Peace, boo-boo. Have fun, enjoy. Give me an autograph or something, right, when you come back. Free pass, 110%. So I was like you. Rossi got pregnant. He had a brand new Strider bike and a TTR 50. And I was so excited to come home. He wasn't even born yet. I'm out here. My friends come over. I was like, yeah, I just got my son a brand new TT50. Check this out. And my dumb butt, I get on it and I forget to spread my knees apart because you're like this on it. And I went to go cut around the corner. My elbow hit my knee and I went right into a fence, bent the front forks before entered this real world, right? So here I am online, ordering brand new fork setup, But yeah, I had that whole aspiration. He never really took to it too much, right? He was just like, he'd tell me I'm not ready. Okay. And I never forced him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I kept bringing him to road races. We met Yandel Mendia, okay, and him and Yandel are like 2 peas in a pod. Yeah. So he's like, well, I see all these kids riding this little 50, Dad. I was like, I mean, dude, you've been on a Strider your whole life. Like and riding bicycles without training wheels. It's automatic, 4-speed.
Easy.
This is how you do it, go. And he's been gone ever since, right? And finally at Jersey this year, he said, "I want a dirt bike for Christmas." I said, "Let's go." Absolutely. So we're in, right? And speaking of devil, here he is. Look, this is Michaela's dad, Will.
You are nice.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hi.
How are you?
He said, "How are you?"
Podcast of 2025.
First podcast of
Good.
2025. The honor to sit down with Will. Absolutely. So he's also big into Legos. We're a big family of guns, right? Military. We got a bunch of guns. When he was 7 years old, I bought him an AR-15.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, right. But I take him shooting 100 million times. He knows how to break down all my handguns, clean them, put them together. He knows how to take down his AR, put it, clean it, bolt carry the whole nine, cleans it, puts it all. I got a video of him in diapers doing it.
making them bacon.
Look,
Right.
this is my Lego pistol with a working slide. But I'm
So
building
With the
another one
working slide.
that's way bigger and it works, but I forgot I need to put the top on. I
That
need
is,
to build the top.
I
he
love
wants to make that one a semi-automatic.
It is. It will.
I love it. He just said he loves it too, right? So yeah, he's big into butterfly knives. So he makes a bunch of Lego butterfly knives, and he's always doing this thing with the. All right, buddy. And yeah, dude. So anyway, we're guns and motorcycles, 110% Americans, right? Let's go. Oh my god, dude. So yeah, man. So listen to the whole journey, man. Like I said, everybody's got a beautiful journey into it, and it always starts. And that's one beautiful thing about our sport is it's the families, it's the dads and the sons and the daughters, that get into it. And honestly, it builds a closer relationship. It keeps them off the PlayStation, watching so much TV. They're out in the sun, getting the natural vitamin D and E and all that good stuff, right? But it also teaches them, like for Rossi, since he'd be doing a lot more discipline.
Yes.
I'm like, you got to clean your bike, you got to clean your boots, you got to take care of your helmet. Don't just drop it. Don't leave it on the ground.
All of that good stuff.
All of it, right? So when you got your kids, Michaela and your son into racing, which he flies, which is absolutely amazing. Did you have any aspirations like let's actually go racing, or did you just let them decide on their own?
Racing happened. So my biggest goal was just to find a family venture that we can get involved with that can work for the sake of the family dynamic. I knew I didn't want to walk away. Most guys when they have kids, I got to sell my motorcycles. And it's like, wait a second. You can find a way to incorporate your lifestyle in with the family. And if they take to it, everybody's having a good time, then you got a good recipe to create that scenario. And so the racing part didn't come in until Michaela showed, aspirations to competing. I bought them. Junior had a DR70. Michaela had a TTR50, and I figured I'd get one faster than the other, and I can always swap them out and get them to train on different platforms, ride them, and see the differences between the two, and then compete with each other. See who can ride whichever one the best. And I took them to Sandy Hook Mini GP. At the time, it was Sandy Hook Mini Moto, or it was Sandy Hook Mini Moto converted from Mini GP because at the time, New Jersey Mini GP was starting their thing and whatnot. But and that was a family fun venture, a venue. It wasn't about competition. We kind of brought the competition there. It was a go-kart track. Of course, they competed with carts, but the Mini Moto was just family fun. And then the racing was just like mock races. It wasn't like anything.
Yeah.
It wasn't like New Jersey Mini GP is today or South Florida Mini GP, for instance. And the girl that Michaela was riding with, she was good. She's been doing it for a little while, longer than Michaela. And I brought them out there on dirt tires. I'm like, look, let's go to this track in Bel Air, Maryland. Let's see what it's about. We've been playing in the dirt and whatnot. I didn't have aspirations to put them on a motocross bike because not only is it super, I won't say dangerous, but it's the level of commitment to that. You can't go practice motocross and not race motocross. You know what I mean? But you can ride in the trails, you can ride in the field and mess around and have fun. So I'm like, hey, let's go to the kart track and have some fun with the guys riding on asphalt. And Michaela's like, Eddie, I could have beat her. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you probably could have. No, I could have beat her, but my tires. I'm like, yeah, but you have dirt tires, and we were just there to try it out. What do you guys think? She's like, well, she had scooter tires. If I had scooter tires, I could have beat her. I'm like, yeah, probably. But she's been doing it longer, you know, and she was there to teach you. She's like, but she was in my way. And I'm like, and just listening to her talk about this, I'm like, we're not even here racing. We're legit looking for another place to have fun at. And so when I realized that part, I'm like, all right. So, and then, you know, ironically, they were looking to start a racing club there. And so we was like right in the beginning phases of that. And yeah, from there, it kind of just took off. I still wanted to keep it family fun. I was the only one looking to race eventually. Once I kind of decided how I wanted to approach it, and considering all that was taking place, I'm like, man, we're having so much fun on these mini bikes. All of us can ride, you know, with a reasonable budget. And then, you know, when you look at the cost factors and everything, I'm like, I'm gonna stay here, man. I'm gonna hang out here, have fun. Best case, I can train, and you know, depending on how long this thing goes, we can take it to the next level if the opportunity presents itself. And then
Uh-oh.
she was like a mini me. Junior was like halfway in. I'm doing it because Michaela's doing it, and this is what we do together. But at the time, he was super huge in the Legos. He was in the Legos heavy until 12. And then he finally just kind of snapped to it, and a switch hit, and then he became competitive. And then I had what I wanted. I wanted them to be able to compete, but at the same time work together. You know what I mean? And then racing just over time kind of just happened organically. You know what I mean? You had the Sandy Hook deal going on with Sandy Hook Mini Moto, and then New Jersey Mini GP was just started. And once I got with them, they're like, hey, there's more competition here, and I think your kids will do really well there, because where you're at, it's more, you know, family racing, fun racing. This over here, Mini GP is competitive. But even with Mini GP, man, she was like she was in BTR. They nicknamed her Michaela Lap Myself. You know what I mean? She ended up lapping the whole field, and damn near lapped them again. And you know, that's when they realized, like, damn, this little girl is something special. And you know, the cool part is, man, she raced with all the kids that's racing today. The Kayla Yakovs, the Tyler Scotts, the Lamondres, the Rodeos, all of them, man. I'm so ecstatic where the sport is today, and to see the kids still, you know, doing well in it.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and big shout out to SFL Mini GP Jersey in South Florida. That's where, dude, all our legends of the sport are coming from. You got Avi Dreyer, Ella, Michaela Moore, Gus Rodeo, Brandon Scott. Dude, the list goes on and on. So it's absolutely an amazing program. So I know we met at VIR. It's always an honor to meet you. And you was actually racing yourself. But before we get into you racing, how did you get into track days yourself before you had kids, or did you get into track days after?
Track days came after, but I've always heard about track days. Like I said, because we, you know, drag race on the street, light the light, and we'll go to we did a crap ton of roll-ons. Like, I was considered one of the roll-on kings. You know, my goal was to be that guy on the street. That's what I wanted to be. And I wasn't into the twisties and the turns. My nickname used to be Willie Will. I would Willie forever. Between roll-ons and Willies, that's what I did. And then when I was introduced to the back row stuff, and I got, you know, a good understanding how to lean and turn, there was a guy, his name was Chris Agard. And he's like, dude, you need to take this stuff to the track, man. You're a dad now. You got kids and whatnot, man. You're out here wilding out. And the funny thing about that particular day, we rode with an older guy. And I look young now, right? So you figure when I was 26, I had both my kids at the time. And I probably looked 20 then. And he got in my shit, dude. He's like, you have kids? Wait a minute. How old are you? You know, I told my agent man, you out here riding like a man, like you ain't got nothing to lose, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, if you want to do this shit, you can't do this out here. You ain't down to my watch. And he just, he dug into me like he was like an uncle or something. You know what I mean? And Chris was like, yeah, bro, you need to get on the track, man, blah, blah, blah. So I was torn around with the idea. I'm like, man, the track, that costs, you know, this and that. I'll get there when I get there. And he actually bought me my first track day. Bought my first track day. He's like, nah, we're going to the track. He called my wife. We went. I didn't even have a bike to ride. Guy named Terrence Johnson. He was racing at the time. He let me use his bike. And yeah, did my first track there at Summer Point with Team Promotion and got humbled real quick. Yeah, I got humbled real quick. It was a good time though. You know what I mean? And the environment, it was different, bro, because you know, the street, it's all about I'm fast. And not that I carried myself as if I was that guy, just, you know, I knew that I had skills and I had the balls. You know, I was not really reckless, but I was a risk taker and I was willing to take the bike to the max. And so going to the track, I'm like, I'll see what it's about. And then once I watched people and I was out there riding with people, I'm like, man, these dudes got work to do. And it wasn't until I got into the intermediate, and I still feel like, nah, I need to be in advance, but I go intermediate, you know. And intermediate boys humble me quick, you know what I mean? And then I was like, okay, so there's a science to this. You can't just show up, show out. No, you gotta put some time in.
It's always hard for us men to put our egos to the side, right? Because we're Spartans and we got to ride the bull and grab it and do this and do that. Yeah, it's that's not the case at all.
No.
And you touched something earlier. I love the way our sports going in a direction, right? Dude, women belong in our sports just as much as men do. It's absolutely 100%. It's you know, the BTR program and the WEC up there in World Superbike. It's absolutely an amazing program, and
they're overdue with the women. I'm glad to see all these organizations creating venues for the women to showcase their skills, because there's some contenders, man, and they listen.
Facts.
And I think that their rider development scale between the males is higher. You can give a few pointers and show them a few things, boom, they're going to get it right then and there. A guy, it's going to take a little while.
Because of our ego, man. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like a disease almost.
Dude, it is, bro. Facts, dude. I'm glad you said, because it is like a disease for us, right? Where, and I say this all the time, a woman, when she's on a motorcycle, whoever it is, Sonya Lloyd, it don't matter, right? They are so naturally smooth with their inputs, their braking. It's like, you know, and then you see us coming and we're just hustling and muscling and doing all this, right? And yeah, because I think part of that too is the mother inside of them, right? They're just naturally more patient.
Right? They have a
Yes.
natural instinct for self-preservation.
Yes.
And so they won't do the thing. They're willing to do it, but they got to find the confidence and the comfort in doing it. And once they find that comfort, they get confident. They're like, oh, I got this. You know?
It's over. It's over. It is.
Early with Michaela, I was always expecting Virginia to be the one that, like, I got this, Dad. And Michaela was like, she was always in tune, always listening. She was always the first one to get it right the first time. And was always the one willing to keep trying. You know what I mean? With Junior at the time, he had this, you know, I kind of got it. I don't need you to show me. You know, Kayla would listen. Then when she got good, oh my gosh, the role switched, bro. That girl was a shit talker. Oh my goodness.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it. It's funny, Will, because like my son, right? I'll tell him something, and then my buddy will tell him the same thing, and he'll listen. I'm like, dude, I just told you that. And he's just like, whatever, you're my dad. I know better than you, or whatever it is, right? I'm like, oh, okay. So I've learned that too as well, right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I'll tell him something, Will. You tell him the same thing, he's gonna listen to you like, yes, sir, no problem. Boom, I got it. And he's gone. Yeah. He looks at me, he's like, can I get some V-Bucks after this? I'm like, get your butt in the car. No. Do you still ride on the street?
Very seldomly. I only recently started back riding just to kind of get within the community. You know, I have a motorcycle shop. A lot of people, my name, you know, still kind of carries weight in the street, so people know who I am. Very few people that are still around my age still talk about the good old days. So when I do come out, like the times I've been out, I've been on my Ninja 400. You know what I mean? Out there putting around, still doing wheelies, having fun where I could, and doing some bike night stuff. Just kind of getting a visual of what the culture's like. It's way different than what it used to be.
The game has changed.
Oh man, it's not even the same.
It's not even the same. It's nowhere near the same. But it's I'm like you, I still ride on the street some. It's not as fun as it used to be before I got to the track, right? Because then mentally you grow up, you learn, hey, I'm actually gonna kill myself if I keep doing this out here on the street. You know what I mean? And I tell everybody this: there's a time and a place for everything, whether it's on the street or not. There's always a time and a place.
Yep.
You don't have to show off because you're not proving nothing to nobody but yourself, and you're not even doing that, right? So
Yep.
take it to the track. Absolutely take it to the track.
Yep.
That's awesome. I want to get to a couple comments right there. So we got my good buddy Roger Leanger. He's actually works for Wiseco. He says, "What's up, Chris? What's up, Will? We met at Pittsburgh. I work for Wiseco."
Yeah. I got the cup holders from him. Yeah,
I love it.
Cup holders. Yeah.
I love it. And then my man Ryan Snyder says, the man, the myth, and the legend. He's talking to you. He ain't talking about me.
Oh, wow. That's what's up. Appreciate you, Ryan.
Absolutely. And then Jessica, we all love Jessica. She says, love the Moore family. Everybody loves the Moore family.
Appreciate that.
And then Matt Cuttinson, what is up, Matt? He says, the best family in the paddock.
Yeah,
it's
man.
a fact. 100%. Ryan Snyder says, start them young and keep them from doing much stupid stuff. I mean, we start them young, but, that never stopped me from doing stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And look, crashing hard at a young age puts things in perspective, because no one likes when you get hurt. It's like, ow. But when you get injured, it's like, it's that fine line. Do I still want to keep doing this? I do, but now I got to respect it, and I got to go about it a certain way. You know what I mean? And so both Junior and Michaela, when they got injured, breaking bones and whatnot, I appreciated them still wanting to go at it, but they had a more, they were more serious about what they're doing now. Like, they took the training serious. And because I told them, like, the best way to prevent yourself from crashing is develop good habits. That's what riding is all about. You can ride and just figure it out, or you can just create good habits, so that you put yourself in a situation, with good habits, you can avoid them.
Oh, 100%. I think I remember everybody remembers the first crash, big crash, just like first time we drug a knee on the ground, right? Or the first time we got our wheelie down, we grabbed second gear from first, right? It's all those fond memories, but it makes you more humble. And if you're really into it, it makes you appreciate it and take it more serious. So next time when you're out there, you think about it before you do it, so to speak, right? You just approach it in a different way. So yeah, it's Maria says, go big or go home. Absolutely. And thank you so much for everything you do for our sport. You are absolutely amazing. Of course, we got Kamisha.
Favorite person.
What is up, Kamisha? Hey, Chris. Hey, Drew Will. What's going on? So, Kamisha, what's for dinner tonight?
Yo, right?
Yeah, what's for dinner tonight? Well, since you're reading my mind, Simcoe, I love it. And she says, let's not talk about injuries, right? Hey, listen, it's part of the game we play. It really is. It's there are people that love the idea of motorcycles and they get on and they have that one big wreck and they're just absolutely done with it, right? Then there's people like us that get on it, we wreck, we break stuff, we cry, we go through the pain, but the first thing we always say is, when can I ride again? Our doctor's looking at us like, what's wrong with your kid? Like, nothing. It's, when can he ride again? You know what I mean? It's absolutely amazing. Josh says, more family, the best at the track. Always good to see them on race weekends. Absolutely, it is.
Josh.
Absolutely.
Thinking about injury, to be honest with you, if it wasn't for the wife at this particular time, I was legitimately done with riding when I broke both my wrists. I cased the jump on my YZ250F, and I was having a good day. And there was a guy out there with a camera, and I was trying to whip. And I wasn't whipping like Bubba, scrubbing like Bubba, but I was getting it to the side, and I don't have a lot of, experience with motocross, and this was a home track. This is somebody's property, so it didn't have a legit lip to it, but I was able to pull off some height and whatnot and kind of get the wheel to the side. And that particular day, she's like, you shouldn't ride. You need to make sure when you get home off of work, because I work night shift, get some rest, then go ride. I'm like, they're riding in the morning, so when I get off, I'm going riding. Great day. We got some good footage, good time, and it was that, hey man, do that. Like, you almost had it this time. Do it one more time, and then we're gonna call it a day. I was like, all right, fine. Oof, the worst ever. Broke both my hit the jump, cased it. I had my arms full lock, and I knocked myself out. I'm on the ground, arms up. I felt real nauseous, trying to catch my breath, and I'm like, why did I do that? I should have been at home. Man, I should have paid for that suspension because I was at the time I was thinking about getting suspension. I had all kind of things going in my head. I'm at home. One wrist was jacked up. I'm like, all right, this one I know is broke because I broke this twice in football. I know what that feels like. This one, I feel like I sprained it. This is when I took a shower with when I got home. So I took a shower. Wife's getting home around 3 o'clock. It's like 2 something. I go on her front porch, just, all right, I'm gonna break this down to her. So she comes home. She's like, what's the matter? I was like, I gotta go to the doctor. She's like, what happened? I was like, I think I broke my wrist. Anyway, we get to the doctor, bro. Do the x-ray. I'm having a good time laughing with the doctors. They do the x-ray. In the back, all I hear is, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, right? So I'm like, what? She's like, I got good news and I have worse news. I'm like, what's the worst news? Like, save the good for, best for last. She's like, well, the worst news is you broke both your wrists. I'm like, that can't be. She's like, no, you broke both of them, but the good news is you don't need surgery. In my head, bro, I'm like, I just got this new job. I haven't even been on the job 3 months. I got to do, oh no, not even, I haven't been on it for, I've been on it for 2 months because I didn't do my 90-day yet. So I got all these thoughts in my head, both wrists. I was like, so this one I can move though. She's like, well, that one has a hairline fracture. This one is clearly broke. And it wasn't until she started wrapping them up. And I'm like, I can still use them. When I get to work, they'll probably put me on some type of light duty. Bro, she wrapped them joints up past my elbow. I said, hold up. This one I can use. Yo, I thought that was an arm sleeve. You got a cast on right now.
Man.
That's crazy. We had to touch on that.
Yeah.
So, long story short, both wrists broke, got me up here to my arms. I'm like, how am I supposed to wipe my ass? You know what I mean? Like, dude, it just started really setting in. I'm like, these freaking bikes, man, I knew I should have stayed home, this and that. The third, I'm at home going through it, bro. The first night was the worst night. The next morning, I'm like, that wasn't a dream. It's happening. And then it was like, babe, I got to use the bathroom.
And I love you. I love you.
Yo, dude, I was just like in my head, like, how I'm going to figure this out. And just throughout the course of that time. And then, I had to be in there for the first 6 weeks. And so, she took care of me, dog. She took care of 3 babies. Yeah, 100%.
3 babies. Absolutely.
Yeah, and but I was done. I was like, listen, just sell the motorcycles. And I'm in my head, we can pay this off, take care of this and that, and I'm gonna just chill. I'm gonna fall back. She's like, we can't do that. I was like, yes, we can. I'm done for right now. We can get back to it later. And she's like, no, we'll figure it out. You come too far. The kids love it. Like, you got all these bikes. And I'm like, yeah, but this is bad. And then the job said, the good news is we can keep your position because you're the only one willing to work night shift, but we can't pay you because you haven't reached your 90 days. So I'm at home, no leave, no pay, no nothing. And I wasn't really the breadwinner at the time, but my income mattered. And so worse, but we made it work, bro. Between my neighbors, obviously she sold her van, you know what I mean? And then we made do with what we had, and we kept the bikes, and the kids still wanted to ride. I drove my truck, broke wrist and everything. She got the video and everything. My neighbor hooked the trailer up for me, loaded the bikes up for me. I took the kids to the field where we rode at, and I was able to ride the 4-wheeler, following Junior around, and Kayla was on the little TTR 50. And I was like, yeah, we might be all right. You know what I mean? So if it wasn't for her at that particular time, I think the trajectory of what's taking place today wouldn't be what it is. Because I was legitimately ready to call it quits. I'm like, this is not responsible. I'm a dad. Like, I always knew I was a dad, but it just weighed in heavy on you as a man, And I made money with my hands, and I didn't have them,
Yeah. First time I wrecked, I broke my right wrist. I feel you on that, right? Yeah. Like right here, right? Yeah. I called my mom. I was like, my hand hurts. I think there's something seriously wrong. She's like, well, what happened? I was like, well, I did this jump, and when I landed, I same thing, had my arm straight out. But my right arm was actually bent, my left arm was out, and I freaking hit, and it just, I felt the snap. Right, didn't know what it was. Looked down at it. I said, "Well, it's purple. I don't know if it's supposed to be purple." She's like, "Oh my god, what I tell you about them motorcycles? Blah blah blah." I was like, "Mom, I love you. Just come and get me at my buddy's house, please." You know, and yeah, dude, the whole nine. And then how am I gonna, wipe my butt? That's how I am now. I can't even eat or anything with my cast on. Right? I'm good at my left hand now. You learn it real quick. Yeah, I'm good, man. I snapped my TFCC tendon. Of course, it's dirt bikes as always, right? I snapped it in my left one, had surgery on it once, which I'm getting ready to have surgery on it again. And then I snapped this one on. This is be my 6th week in the cast. I get it off January 7th. It still throbs. I still feel it just. Yeah. He told me that if it don't do it after this, they'll have to scope it too. So I'm gonna end up with 2 wrist surgeries. So let's go. But it won't deter me. It won't keep me from my bikes. And the whole time I'm in there doing the whole MRI and all that, and I'm just talking, watching nothing about motorcycles. They're like, are you ever going to give it up? You've been in here for like 4 times getting MRIs on your wrist, dude, for like the past 5 years. I'm like, absolutely not, right? Absolutely not. Yeah, it's
what is in you. This is a sport that once it chooses you. You don't really choose it. You know what I mean? And if you have any sense of, if you have a free spirit, bro, the motorcycle is the best. Just it brings that free spirit to life, because in my opinion, there's nothing else you can do that will do that unless you fly airplanes. You know what I mean? Nothing else will give you that experience or that freedom. So it's
100%. The closest thing I've ever come to getting that same experience is skydiving, right? And that's how I overcome my fear of heights. I wouldn't even climb on my roof. I'm like, I ain't getting up there. Were you freaking crazy? Absolutely not.
Wow.
And so when I went to MMI, I was out in Phoenix. I told my buddies, man, if you guys actually come out and visit me, we'll go skydiving. Next thing I know, my dad calls me up and was like, yep, your buddies are coming out. I got them a ticket. They'll be there for 2 weeks during these dates. And I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, oh shit, I got to jump now, right? I'm scared of heights. I don't even want to get on an 8-foot ladder.
Oh,
they show up, bro. Listen, but that's part of the mental, because dude, life, motorcycles, it's all a mental game, right? It's in order to overcome those, you got to push yourself. You got to find your limits and go beyond your limits, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I did it, and I was like, dude, it was the most freeing experience I've ever had in my life. Everybody should try it.
Yeah.
Everybody should try it.
I'm a millionaire, or should I say, when I become a millionaire, bro, I'm going to skydive like crazy. If not become an instructor, I'm gonna have one of those damn, we call those the wing suits.
Yeah, the gliders.
Yeah, I'm flying with the Red Bull guys. I'm telling you, dude, 100%.
I want to do what Travis Pastrana did, where he jumped out the airplane with no parachute on and grabbed onto the dude with the chute and all that. Have you seen that?
I did see that. Travis is an alien.
Dude, he's a Martian, 110%.
Yeah. But I love Travis, man. He's one of those, he's 100% spirit living in the human body, bro. The things you have to process. I recently saw him, a clip, and it's an old clip, but even still, you're on a dirt bike, bro. No foam pit, and you have to pull off 3 flips. And the calculation has to be right. It's like, this can go extremely bad, or I'm gonna nail it. But he operates off of, I'm going to nail this. I will worry about my broken bones after I break them, but I'm nailing this. Dude, that is my guy. He's my hero.
That's my dude too, man. I love Travis Pastrana. He's that, I can do anything. I'm accomplish what I want to do. Because I tell everybody this: be happy, love, put out the good energy, put out the good vibes. Because we think when we're young, our life is this big and this long. It's reality. It's this long, right? Especially when you have kids. Now time goes by like Star Wars hyperdrive space, right? It's absolutely crazy.
Every time someone says, so how did that all start? And I reflect on when she was young, never mind being born, because that's just a cool experience, right? It's like, damn, I got a girl. Shit. You know what I mean? And you got all these different ideas, and then you watch them grow, and then you figure out what they like and don't like, and then boom, they like what I like. And then before you know it, it's like reflecting back on that. Then you shift back to reality. It's like, now they're 21. You know what I mean? 22 is like, when did that happen? You know?
Bro, I'm telling you, it is. Kamisha actually said Michaela made us all skydive for her 18th birthday.
Yeah, so I wanted to skydive when she was 17. And then when I found out the age limit was 18, I'm like, we'll wait. And I'm like, yo, Kayla, if you're down with the skydiving, we can do it as a family. And that'd be epic. Because I like to enjoy things for myself, but, you know, it's not fun unless everybody's having fun. You know what I mean? And I love, even with this racing experience, to be able to do all this together. No other sport could create this, the family, you know, dynamic and the family experience. You know what I mean? When they're playing other sports, it's your child and the coach, you know, the coaches, depending on what venue they're in. But this sport allows the parents to play a big part of it, especially when you're just as involved.
Oh, 100%. Because they share the same passion, right? It's a blessing.
It is.
It really is, man. It's because there's so many things, you know, they could have got involved with, you know, but they choose the motorcycles. It just makes you're so happy. It really does. You know, it's hard to explain. It really is. It's like the very first time when my wife told me she was pregnant, I was ecstatic. Like, I'm going to be a dad. But then funny story. I've never told this on air. So my wife's pregnant. She gets up in the morning. She tries to wake me up. She's like, hey, and I worked late this night, right? It's early in the morning. She's like, I think we're gonna have this baby today. And I rolled over and I said, we ain't having no baby today. I'm going back to sleep, right? My wife took a shower, drove herself to the hospital, checked in, and then called me from the hospital. She's like, are you up now? I'm like, yeah, why? What's up? Where are you at? She's like, I told you we're having this baby. And I sat straight up out the bed and was like, dude, my whole feelings changed. I never felt this before. My anxiety was like it's never been. I didn't know what to do. Just closing a bunch of bags, ran to the hospital, and yeah, here he comes, right? And then when he got here, bro, it's like my whole world was just complete. The way I viewed the world, the way I thought was just completely different. It's again, it's an absolute honor and a blessing, right? To have beautiful, healthy kids. 110%. So I want to touch on your military real quick. Go ahead, Will.
No, I was just going to say real quick, the best part of because it wasn't the fact that she told you she was having a baby. It's when she had the baby, dog. Like, we respect women because they're women, and we know what they go through for the most part. We don't know, you know, internally, but we know, you know, for the most part. But bro, when they push that thing through, or it just comes out of their body, the respect you have for a woman at that particular moment is like, you are everything.
You're a Spartan. We're not the Spartans. You're the Spartans. 100%.
Dude,
bro.
Man, it just, you see that thing come out, you holding, you looking at her, she's like,
bro.
You like, wow.
Bro, dude, listen, if men had babies, there'd be 5 of us running around. That's it, right? Let's just be honest. Dude. Like,
easy.
And I remember being in there too, and I'm sitting there. I was supposed to put the cold wash rag on her face, but the whole time I'm like re-wringing it, and I'm just rubbing all over my face. I was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm white. She's like, "You look like you're ready to pass out. You need to sit down." I was like, "I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know what I'm doing. What's even going on?" Right? It's
scary for you to have that experience, man.
Oh, bro, it's you got to be there. It's it's one of those life-changing moments that everybody should go through. 110%, man.
Yeah,
100%. But yeah, so military. I grew up in. My dad was a fighter pilot in the Navy. Tell us a little bit about your background in your military.
Yeah, military came. I had 2 options. You know, Dad said straight up: you either going to college, or going to the military. And I've never had my sights set on college. I was ready to get to work. You know, I was a young entrepreneur. I was shoveling yards, washing cars. So I wanted to make money at a young age, and I felt like school would have prevented me from doing that. The military came. My dad was military, and his whole thing was, you know, you need structure. and you need discipline and learn leadership skills and things of that nature. And if you don't have a school picked out or desire to go to school, you definitely go military. And then I did JROTC throughout the course of my high school. That was a lot of fun. Learned a lot of things with that. Both me and Kamisha did JROTC. And so I was like, yeah, I can do that. I like the training, the FTX and all that for training exercises. And so went to the Air Force, went in as a carpenter. Half the males in my family were carpenters. So that was a good thing to get involved with. And yeah, I mean, when you're young, you don't know, dude. You just, military it is. And you get in there, you do the basic training, you meet a lot of cool people. You establish some strong relationships. And then, the biggest thing is, what's my next duty station? And once I get there, if ever I'm going to go overseas. And so the military felt like a normal job. I was Air Force. I wasn't none of the other branches where they're military. Air Force, you can kind of feel somewhat like a civilian until it's time to go overseas. And when you get over there and you interact with other branches and you hear the stories and, you learn about the different dynamics of how they were disciplined and the different trainings they go through. And, we stayed in buildings that we built for ourselves. They stayed in, we call it the crack house, which was a big ass hazmat, and they had a whole bunch of cots. So y'all staying over there. We kind of like
they in the trap house. Look at them.
Yeah. So they called it a crack house because of all the asses. You know what I mean? And they were all bundled up. I'm like, damn, that's how they treat y'all, man. It's the army for you, And then some of them, they stayed in like legit huts, tits. We kind of had it made. But going in, I didn't have any desire to retire. I went because the leadership skills, I get to do all the things my dad was suggesting. And then of course my wife joined, and once we got married, then it became more like, all right, is this going to become a career, or am I going to venture off and, do something else? And when the kids came and the deployments came and another deployment came, and I was like, all right, I could do one or two, but y'all want to send me back in the desert again? I got a family I got to raise. I need to be home. And when my 8 years in, they did a mandatory cross train where they say I had to cross train into a different career field, which was going to put me at a different base, which was 3 hours away from where the wife was, because we were always stationed together, obviously. And because it was only 3 hours away, they was not going to move us together. It was just, I've been 3 hours away at this base, you've been at this base. I'm like, nah, I'll go out and take my chances in the civilian world and figure it out. And so I didn't spend a lot of time in there, even though I wanted to stay, because the camaraderie you build, it's one you don't want to get away from too soon. And I knew I was going to miss it. And at that time, people were getting out too. They were paying people to get out. They were doing what they call, my wife will know this because I forgot it. They were downsizing, but there's a term for it.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, my career field was one of those that deployed a lot. I'm like, look, somebody got to go. I'll take the hit. You know what I mean? If you have a desire to retire, you can definitely do that. I'll support you, and I'll be at home with the family and figure it out.
I love it. How did you and Kamisha meet? I met my wife on a blind date. And I wasn't even trying to go, to be honest with you. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to go on this blind date, right? Let's just, right? Because the nerves and all. She's like, man, I ain't trying to go. So that's how we met.
Yeah, we were friends, man, in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, ninth grade. At the time, I had like an unofficial girlfriend, one of the girls I was talking to, but she was in my health class, and she always had this mean mug on her face, and I was, always trying to get her to laugh. Why are you always looking mean? You just come in here like mean mug. You need to smile more often. And then the one day I got her to smile and laugh, it was on from there. Like, all right, she's in a much better spirit, and we exchanged numbers and whatnot, always talk. And then, just over time, it turned into dating, boyfriend and girlfriend. And then from there, even though we dated as boyfriend and girlfriend, we were just friends. Like we were real close friends. It wasn't until like 10th, 11th, 12th when it was more like, that's my girlfriend. I need to stick with her. I was a big flirt. You know what I mean? I was a good football player, and I always had girls, trying to do what women do what young girls do, but everybody knew we were dating and they respected it for the most part. And I was never the type to try to talk to this one. I did take my breaks. Like, babe, we need to take a break. We're too serious. But I wanted to talk to other people too.
Yeah.
And, I didn't want to get, be considered cheating. Like, we're on a break. I'm just talking to this one. And it's like, I don't like her. Let me come back, But yeah, we dated in high school. And once we graduated, she was set to go to the Army. I was set to go to the Air Force. And I went to basic training. And a week later, I'm out on the field training, and I see some females, the female group training in the middle. And I was like, man, that looks just like Kamisha. I know that, that can't be her. And so I gave a letter to one of the girls, and I was like, hey, ask this girl if her name is Kamisha Moore. Sure enough, her ass pulled up. And I didn't know at the time. And the first week, you don't get to interact with any of the other squadrons. And we ended up meeting in church. And I was like, yo, when'd you get here? Like, I thought you was going to the Army, And then from there, it's kind of like history.
Game over. It's a wrap right there. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Dude, look, we're at 51 minutes into this, and I feel like we just got started on this podcast, bro.
Ready?
Yeah. 51 minutes. I know, dude, it goes so fast, but no worries. We will definitely sit down and do a part 2. I want to actually get into is one of my favorite parts of the podcast where we get to know Will on a personal level, not just the legend's dad as everybody sees you walking around the paddock all the time, right? And Jessica says, thank you for your service. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, appreciate it.
So are you guys a family of pets? Are you guys pet people? Do you guys have any?
Definitely pets. Yeah, I wanted 4 kids at the time. So after 2, she was like, nah, we're good.
We're done. You're like, okay, I'll get some dogs instead, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, we just got a puppy, but she ain't in here right now. But my dog, Charlie, well, she's, let me see if I get this. Yeah, she's right there. Yeah, she's she's awesome. She's old, man. She's like 14, purebred pit. Yeah, getting around. Yeah, bro. She go ahead, Will. Sorry.
Oh, that's good living for a pit, 14 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, she's she kicking it, man. Like, she got to eat soft food now and all that good stuff. But yeah, bro. Gus Rodeo, another legend in the house, says Drill Will. Yes, sir.
Gus. Hey man, listen, Gus Rodeo is by far one of my favorites. 100%. Because I remember when he very first started. I remember the innocence and the reservation he had and the uncertainty. And looking at him now, man, between him and Tyler Scott, I mean, I have a bunch of other favorites, but those 2 specifically, I've always had like this, they're going to be it when the time comes, And Gus, he's about due. He's about due for a championship. So I hope he's doing his part, his due diligence of training and showing up and showing out, because that's what my expectation is.
That's right. Yeah, he's listen, all my friends at race are absolutely my favorites. Yeah, and Gus, Posh, Tyler Scott, they're absolutely amazing. They are so talented on the bike. They all have their own methodological approach to racing, and that's what I love to see and watch. And there's some of the best people going to be in the paddock, dude. Kev Dog, Gus Rodeo. They're always hugs and laughs and absolutely amazing people, man.
Yeah.
Gus just said we should have given you my 110 back in the day.
Hey, you should have, man.
Absolutely. And then we got another legend, dude. Chris Tulloch, the man is the living legend. My dog, Drill Will.
Yeah, Chris, man. Chris he's one of the guys that really made me feel like, man, this is my family. You know what I mean? We get embraced by a lot of different people, and a lot of people always, man, we give good energy. So, it's expected to get it back. But, Chris was definitely one of them dudes that even if we don't hang out, we don't spend a whole lot of time chatting, and he still makes you feel like I was there when he was doing whatever he was doing. You know what I mean?
I do. Absolutely, I do. He's absolutely amazing. I had the honor. I only met him once. I met him at Chris. It was Indy. We was at the not Indy, but the MotoGP race at Texas when the first time I met Diane. What year was that, Chris? 20 or 19, if I remember. Chris actually had his son there. And that's where our friendship pretty much started. And yeah, we still chatted Kathy all the time. Gus Rodeo says, thanks for the kind words, boys. Dude, listen, you're an absolute legend, Gus, and you will be a champion 110%. And I can't wait to watch you kick ass this season, boy. Let's go.
Looking forward to that. He has one of the best supports in the paddock.
100%. 100% he does.
The whole rodeo racing family, dude. That's how you race. That's how you.
That's exactly how you. I know. So when I seen you guys at VIR, Riston Grigg, my buddy Riston, big shout out to Riston, called me up and was like, dude, I'll be at VIR. Are you coming this weekend? I'm like, I'm there, right? And I didn't expect you to be there, Posh or Gus, and it was just, bro, it was absolutely amazing to see everybody.
My experience was I've always heard about you, and I heard about Penn and Gas. I just never, I didn't know the face. So when I met you and I'm looking at everything, I was like, oh shit, this is Chris. Okay, what's up, man? You know what I mean? Yeah, that was a good time.
Absolutely. And then of course we share the same shoes, right?
Are you going to discuss when we found out we saw the same shoes?
Yes, let's tell the story. Matter of fact, Will, I'm gonna get you to tell the story.
Bro, I'm on a smack. I'm dropping the kids off at the pool. And I'm like, damn, these shoes are dope. I heard this. I'm looking over to my right. I'm like, this dude got the same shoes as I do. Who's this guy? I ain't see him at all in the paddock. So I finish my business. I leave out, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to see whoever that was. And then sure enough, we met later in the day. And I'm like, oh, that was you. I was like, look, we're officially brothers, y'all. We shat next
100%.
together.
Dude, we shared that bond moment right then and there. Yes. Absolutely. It was awesome, dude. I loved it. It was freaking amazing. Dude, so growing up being into bikes, did you ever name your motorcycles?
I never really named them. I didn't give them any names. Didn't really give them any names. They were definitely they were my therapy. You know what I mean? It was
100%.
You come home, you see the wife, you see the kid, you see the dog, and it's like, where's my motorcycle? If I'm out there cleaning it off, checking the tire pressures, lubing, cleaning the chain, I had to put my hands on it.
Yeah, wiping her down, talking that trash, dude. We are guilty. Trust me, 110%.
And you had to be on the phone talking trash to the guys while you're doing it.
Yep. I'm out here, just chilling with my babe. Look at her, she's looking so good. Yeah. Oh my God. So are you a coffee drinker?
Yes. Love coffee.
Yeah,
like taste everything, yeah.
So tell us something we don't know about you, Will.
Something you don't know. The average person, damn. What aspect and to what regard?
Just anything. Anything that us in the motorcycle community don't know about Will.
That's a good question. What would I say? What don't people know? I don't have any hidden talents. I'm like I flex on my ADHD. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm the type that if I see it and I believe I can do it, I'm on it. You know what I mean? I'm multi-talented in different genres. I cut hair. I'm a carpenter. I'm a builder. I used to be real big into drawing. Yep.
Okay, there you go.
First, grand prize in 6th grade. I wrote my first book in 6th grade, which afforded me an advancement to honors classes. Oh man, it was a good thing, but it was a bad thing too, because everything changes. I'm used to being with the normal guys, and they put me in the class with a bunch of smart kids, and everybody talking different. And yeah, I just became a class clown at that point. Not saying I wasn't cut out to be in that class, but it was just, you know, different scenario. And the teacher at the time, we were supposed to just write a short story. I actually wrote a book. You know, I wrote pages. I did drawings because I can draw at the time. I put in a pamphlet and I submitted it to him. And he immediately called my parents, and I thought I was getting in trouble. And he's like, he does not belong in these classes. He needs to be in advanced classes, all this other stuff. And yeah, when I got to high school, I was not with the homies anymore. Only time we hung out was in football and after school. But even then, their homework was done a lot quicker than mine.
Nah, that 100%. I got ADHD too, and I don't take any medicine for it. I just motorcycles is my medicine, right?
Yeah, motorcycles and whatever you can put your mind to. Yeah,
it is, dude. So Jessica says you like Tootsie Roll lollipops.
Oh yeah, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll?
Dude, this is the question, right? You guys remember the commercials? If not, you missed out on that time era because it was good, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Scott, dude, what is up, Scott? He says, I'm a fan. We're a fan of yours too, dude. He's my dude too.
That dude, there is no excitement in him. It is, but he does such a wonderful job containing it. But when he delivers his words, bro, it's like, wow. Like, you know, you're a fan, or he's a fan. You know what I mean? And he's extremely like, he made our experience at BTR really great, man. Yeah, he's necessary for that program. I don't think you're gonna find any better person for that program.
Yeah, I actually had the honor to me and him sat down on the phone for at least 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, just dude going back and forth. He was just telling me that you know, it's good to see that I get, you know, the BTR program on the podcast and you know all that good stuff. I was like, dude, it's absolutely my honor, you know. So I get to meet him at VRR. I'm actually going to be a guest of BTR at the VRR Moto America race, which I cannot wait to see everybody. It's good.
Walking gratitude.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait to meet him. That's one thing that I love is when I have my friends on the podcast, and if we never met, we finally get to meet.
Yeah.
Because you know, dude, we're all on the same team. We're all on the same beautiful circus, and everybody's energy is just super intense, and I freaking love it, man. Yeah. It's nothing like it. Kamisha did go ahead, Will. Sorry.
Say this is allow me to not miss the military as much in terms of camaraderie and the fellowship. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. She said y'all two got the class clown award in high school for your silliness.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, she once, and she is funny too, bro. She played the Homer role, but when we get the clowning, dude, if TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff was around back when we started our family, we will 100% be content influencers. Yeah, facts. I already know. Yeah.
I know me and Rossi do. We're clowns. And Kamisha, nothing but love to you and your whole family. You guys know I love you guys so much. She says, thank you, Chris, for having this podcast. I love what you're doing for our community. Look, right back at you. It's absolutely my honor to do it. It really is. And like I said at my last podcast in 2024, if it wasn't for you, Will, and everybody else, I wouldn't be able to sit here and do this, right? So it's because of you that I'm able to do this, and it's an absolute honor. So thank you, man, for sure. Going on with that, what is your worst habit, Will?
My worst habit. Damn, I'm transparent. I'm a pretty transparent guy. I'm one of those. My worst habit is associated with. I just learned this word. It's called. Damn, I can't think of the word. Bro, I smoke cigarettes, dude.
Do you really?
And bro, listen. Look at the look on your face. You're like, no, not Will.
Yeah, right. Like, no, what?
I'm not like a 1 pack a day. A pack will last me like 2-3 weeks, and sometimes I forget I have it. And that's my worst habit, bro. I don't have too many worst habits, and it's not even really a habit. It's just, you know, it's one of those. It's easy to go to, and then people I'm around smoke all the time. That's the other part. You know, they want to, and then when they come around, they want to chit chat and talk. You want a cigarette? It's like, yeah, why not give me a cigarette? Yeah, that's probably because it's never good for you. That's the worst. But
I used to smoke cigarettes. I
Yeah.
quit. Yeah. I see Rossi's 12. I quit when he was 6 months old. My wife still smokes cigarettes, and yeah, it don't bother me at all.
It's one of those things, man. When you have it, it's like, but when you're done, you're like, man, hands stink, you stink. I can't go family right away.
Bro. Yeah, so I noticed that after I quit, it was probably 6 or 8 months after I quit. I noticed how cigarette smokers, man, you really smell them. Like I was like, oh my God, girl, you got in my car. I was like,
Heavy smokers, you smell. Yeah, closet. I'm like a closet smoker,
bro.
Yeah. It depends on what's going on during the day.
I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you, bro. Trust me, I feel you.
Gotta change that habit, basically.
Yeah. Again, it's all mental, right? It's all that.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, Kamisha says I can't stand the smell. Yeah, me neither. I'm with you, Kamisha.
Now and again.
So listen, Will, I'm a big audiobook listener. I listen to a ton of audiobooks. Do you read or listen to audiobooks yourself?
I haven't been lately with the audiobooks, but I do listen to a lot of podcasts.
Okay.
Speakers, yeah.
So what podcast do you listen to?
That's a very good question. What's his last name? I haven't listened to him in a while. It's the real I gotta look at his name. I couldn't tell you his name right now. And I listen to different ones.
Yeah, I listen.
Damn, I can't even think of his name at the moment.
Is this something like Joe Rogan?
No, it's not Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's fun, but he's kind of like not really all over the place. He's just fun. I can tell you what his name is. Give me a second. I can look the name up.
Yeah, go ahead, man. I listen to Danny Jones, of course, Joe Rogan every once in a while. Of course, I listen to Motorcycle Racing Podcast, right? There's a lot, man. I'm big into like Greek mythology and Egyptians and the pyramids and all that. So I listen to like ancient podcasts about all that and the Spartans and all that good stuff. So, knowledge is power, people. 100%.
Knowledge is power, but you got to use it. You got to apply it, bro.
You do.
Yeah,
absolutely, you do.
Yeah.
So while you're looking that up, Will, who's your favorite comedian?
Hands down, Cat Williams. I like the old Bernie Mac. I like the old Martin Lawrence. I've always been a fan of Jamie Foxx, especially the latest one he's did. Who else is my other funny one? The most recent one, he's more of an IG star. Banks. What's his first name, Kayla? Desi Banks.
Desi.
Yeah, he's very unique. Dude, he's hilarious. And he's original.
One of my buddies turned me on to Matt. Oh my God, we was just talking about him earlier. Matt Rife. Yeah, Matt Rife.
Right.
Yeah, Rife. R-I-F-E. I think if anybody knows who I'm talking about, put the comment down below. I was watching one of his buddies sent me a clip of him doing a stand-up comedy, like working the crowd. He was making me freaking screaming at work.
He recently did a Netflix special.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's hilarious. And then, of course, Cat Williams. I always love Cat Williams because to me, I was like, dude, Cat's speaking the truth. He's not just talking shit. He's actually speaking the truth, right? People wake up.
He's an educator, bro.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
Absolutely, he is. Matt Rife. Yes, Maria. Thank you so much. I got it right. Yes, I did. Sammy Panero, what is up, my man? He said the old Bernie Mac is the truth. And he says, let me go back up here because he said something about you wheeling a 400 on South VIR course. Does that ring a bell, Will?
I really did at South VR. Oh yeah. I'll snatch you really in the 400 in a minute.
I love it.
I like to take bikes that most people don't think can do what it does and make it do what it do.
Right. Let me show you.
Yeah, sir.
Let me show. So growing up, man, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, right? I'm big. Me and my son. Are you into Star Wars, or is that something you was into?
Not really.
No,
not really. Not the Star Wars.
Okay.
I remember the movies, but I was never really a fan. You ever remember the movie Race for Glory?
Yep.
Back in the day, that was my Mad Max was my movies.
Mad Max, yep.
You know what I mean?
Gleaming the Cube. Remember Gleaming the Cube?
Yeah.
That was a good one too, right? I'm trying to remember the BMX one. They had an awesome Rad. Was it Rad?
Rad, yes. I was
Yes.
thinking it was another bicycle movie. Yes, old school stuff, man.
We're giving away our age, but it was awesome.
Heck yeah.
I love it. I love it. So listen, well, I ask everybody this. If you had your own personal track day, right? But you can invite any 3 people in the world, dead or alive. It could be Nikki Hayden, Giacomo Agostini, whoever it is. What 3 people would you invite to your personal track day?
Your personal track day. I'm more of a present day guy. I'm a fan of Nate Kearns.
Dude, Nate is the man. Nate is bro.
Yeah, that's my dude.
Me too.
I would definitely have him there. I would definitely have someone young, up and coming. Man, there's so many of them, though.
I'm telling you.
Man, if Nikki Hayden was still around, would have to have Nikki around. Oh, there you go. Yes. Yeah.
That's my dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd definitely like to have Nikki Hayden around because he's a people's racer. You know what I mean? Or he was at the time.
Yeah.
You know, obviously his strong family background. The last person that I can think of, Lloyd Bailey, man.
Dude, bro.
Lloyd Bailey. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He was
humble enough to know what he can do and what he couldn't, but also he was willing to share information and knowledge, man, and kind of just help you put things in perspective when it comes to racing. It's not just, we learned from him, or at least the kids at the time, is it's not about how fast you can be, it's how consistent you can be and how much time you're willing to put in. You know,
100%.
It's good, but what are you doing behind the scenes? You know, stuff like that. Yeah.
That's what I love about our community, because everybody is so fast and such legends in their own way, but they all have unique perspective on how they see the world and how they see racing, right? Yeah. And you learn from that. You pick up different things. You implement that, either it's in your daily life or at the racetrack or both, right? And it changes you, even though at the time you don't realize it does, but it does. It plays a huge impact on you. Definitely. And it's absolutely beautiful thing to do. So listen, we're running over time right now. I got 2 more questions, and then I'll let you give all your shout outs and all that good stuff. But you guys stay tuned, because there's definitely gonna be a part 2. I'd love to sit down and do a live one like we had talked about at the racetrack. Yeah, do you like to cook? I love to cook.
Listen, bro, wife won't let me in the kitchen. When I get in the kitchen, I gotta sneak in the kitchen. I gotta get up early before her to start cooking breakfast. Like, what are you doing in here? and I make the best eggs ever. Yeah, she makes some good breakfast, but I make better eggs. But no, that's a simple meal. It's funny you said that, man, because you get all these different feeds on Instagram, and you know, I've been following a lot of different pages, and I think that might be my next thing, to be honest with you. Yeah, I like the certain dishes, the way they come together, and not saying the wife wouldn't cook them, but either she's going to have to do it. Michaela, she does quite a bit of cooking, actually. She likes to cook. And you know, it's not that it's a woman thing or a man thing, but, you know, at some point I got to get in there, bro. I got to get in the kitchen. I got to have a day to myself to meal prep and make, you know, something for the family.
Dude, listen, I get it from my mom, so I'd love to cook, right? And Kamisha, what you just said was hilarious. That's why I laugh, because my wife says the same thing about me. She says he uses 1,000,000 dishes, but he makes good food. My wife says the same thing. She's like, I don't understand. I make something. I use 3 or 4 dishes. I come in here, the dishwasher's full, the sink is full. I'm like, girl, I'm Picasso right now, right? I'm making this beautiful, flavorful goodness, right? Let's enjoy it, right? But my wife is plain Jane, and I love super spicy food, right? So when I make meals for us 2, I got 2 different pots going, of course, because I'll do her own, and then I got a garlic and cayenne pepper and all this, jalapenos and habaneros and all that stuff. And my wife's over there like, oh my God, right? And I'm like, oh, it's so good. So yeah. So listen, last question I have for you before we get off here. Will, this has been an absolute honor. If Will had his own Moto America Superbike team, what manufacturer would you have, and who's the 2 current riders you'd put on that bike?
Honda all day long. 2 current riders, Bobby Fong, because he's an absolute animal.
Dude, legend.
I mean, there's a lot of animals.
Yes.
in that series. But he's the one out of all of them. I got a lot of favorites in that particular class, but he's the one that stands out the most. And then, dude, I would have to put Tyler Scott. I would have to go with Ty, man. He's the assassin, bro.
He is.
Yeah, you give him a good weapon, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Over.
Yeah, it's a wrap. I can't wait to see him on the Superbike. Oh my goodness.
I know he'll be back next year, which I'm glad. I'm glad to see Bobby Fong on Jake Gagne's team next year too, right?
I'm not gonna say that's a cheater team, but this year is gonna be exciting.
It is.
Oh, it's gonna be exciting.
It is. I just wonder where Cam Peterson's gonna go. Right? We still hadn't heard no news on that. So
it don't matter. No one's gonna leave him on the couch.
Nobody's gonna leave.
You can't leave him on the couch.
Yeah, you cannot.
He'll be back.
He will. He will. Well, listen, this has been a ton of fun.
Yeah, man.
Listen, I just got to say one thing. Thank you, everybody that watches these podcasts, that likes and subscribe. You guys don't know how much it means to me. It's nothing but love for every single one of you guys and girls out there. Again, like I said, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to do this, and it's an absolute honor to do it. Will everybody have on the podcast? I sent them Pin the Gas podcast stickers. Are you going to be at Daytona in March?
Lord willing, yeah, we'll be there.
Okay. Well, I'll be there too. I'm getting some new t-shirts in, so I'm gonna bring one to you at Daytona, and I'm gonna hook you up with some stickers. What size shirt are you?
Extra large.
Okay, I got you, bro. Actually, I got a pink extra large in my closet right now. What's your name?
Ship it to the shop, baby.
Bro, all over it. You text me your address. It's going in the mail this weekend. 110%. I'll ship it out. Dude, listen, big thanks to Next Level Financial, BisonTrack.com, Chef Eats, Flying Eyes Optics, SFL, Mini GP, RD Racing, my man Jake Marsh out there in BSB. My buddy Jim Whitman has a program called Vet2Track, so all my veterans out there. Yeah, his whole program, dude, bro, he's amazing, dude. You know, his whole thing is tackling PTSD at one lap at a time. So if I have any vets out there, listen, vet2track.com. His name is Jim. He's an amazing human being. Big shout out to 64 Degree Racing. Makes the best two-piece undersuits in the absolute world, 110%. Dude, they're freaking amazing. Ghetto Customs for all your custom body work. Chris Parrish, he makes. Bro, I seen his Aprilia. I was like, what is that? I didn't even know it was a Aprilia RS660. He's like, that's an RS660. I was like, I never seen body work like that. He's like, because I made it, right? Big shout out to my man Martin at the Clothing Kings. You guys can go to clothingkings.co.uk and order all your Pin the Gas merch out there in the UK. So big shout out to him. STG, if anybody wants to order any products at all, you got Max Van and Brian Van, absolutely amazing human beings. I need everybody to go to Road Racing World and go to Road Racing World Fund and sign up for the air fence and donate, please. It's imperative. It's absolutely so important. Just like our corner marshal workers and the ambulance people that are there, because without all three of them, guess what? We're not racing. We're not riding. I don't care if you donate $10. It all helps. Trust me.
Every little bit, yeah.
And thank you when you do. We all appreciate you so much. Yeah. Carnes Performance. Anybody in Pennsylvania looking to buy a dirt bike, quad, ATV, performance work, look no further than Carnes Performance. I personally made the trip from Virginia to go to Carnes just to buy my son a dirt bike because I fully believe in supporting our friends in our beautiful circus in our community. So if you're in Pennsylvania, Carnes Performance. If you're here in Virginia, Coleman Power Sports. Big shout out to KYT Helmet. Again, if you're not wearing a KYT, I don't know what you're doing. And well, my son just came in here and, he stole my hat earlier. K-Tech Suspension. Big shout out to them, Dakari.
Yeah.
Bro, Birch, amazing human beings. Kendall, right? Kendall's a hoot. He's awesome. RTR in North Carolina. And last but not least, Dripping Wet. Right? If all your graphic needs, Dripping Wet. He's one of the best, Chris, in the business. So Chris Tulloch said, no stickers for me. Chris, I got you 110%. Shoot me your address, bud, and I'll stick them in the mail for you. 100%. I got you. And Jessica, thank you for sharing and being transparent. The Moors are a huge blessing to the race community, inspire everyone that we meet. Absolutely, they do. And here you go, Jessica. Thank you so much for putting the link down. There it is, everybody. roadracingworld.com auction fund. And listen, if you're at the track and you donate, I forget what it is. I want to say it's a minimum donation. I want to say it's $350. It might be 400, but you can get a 2-seat up ride with the legend Chris Ulrich on the back, and he'll show you. You think you're fast? Get on the back with that boy. He'll show you how late you can brake, how deep you can get in the corner, and how hard you can get on the gas to lean over. Bro, it's absolutely amazing. I haven't been on the back, but Chris, if you're hearing me, bro, you got to get pin the gas on the back of that bike. Take me for that ride, baby. I'm in. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute honor to sit down with the legend Will. Will, is there anything you'd like to say before we end the podcast?
Hey, man, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate what you do. This is always fun, man. Of all the podcasts I've done, this has probably been one of the better ones. Yeah, for real.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, and I appreciate just how you bring it all together, man, and not forgetting the parents, you know, because we do play a big role. And like you said earlier, without the parents, you know, our kids couldn't be, you know, where they are for the most part. And, you know, just grateful to have this experience. Grateful to Motor America, grateful to BTR, you know, Road Racing World for incorporating us, you know, in quite a few articles. Everyone that makes this sport what it is, you know, that's playing a role in growing it, that we couldn't exist. We wouldn't have nothing to look forward to. We wouldn't have nothing to aspire for. Yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of it, dude. I'm glad to have made our mark. You know, a lot of people didn't know who we were before we showed up. Now they know, so that's always a good feeling. Our family is expanded. You know, every race round is like a family reunion for us. You know what I mean? And just seeing everybody and the roles they play, and I have being a shop owner in the industry, being a service provider, whatnot. I know what it takes, you know, and so when everybody does their part and they show up and things are happening and you see the fans, it's like, man, I'm happy to be a part of it, dude. It's a great ecosystem. I just want to see it to continue to grow. My desire is to have people from overseas come to America. We're always looking to go over there. We're always, you know, praising and applauding the you know, racers in MotoGP and World Superbike and things of that nature. There's some badasses here in the United States, man. You know, yeah, we can't count ourselves out. So hopefully we can continue to not just grow the racers, man, but grow the paddock and grow the spectatorship. You know, people, you know, you doing your podcast, you never know, man. Especially when you do it live. That's next level right there, dude. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, well, listen, that's what we're going to do at Daytona. Me and you're going to do a live podcast with Kamisha and Michaela. And yeah, dude, listen, I got a lot of plans this year. So you guys stay tuned. It's been an absolute honor. If you guys missed this and you didn't catch it live, you can go right back to my YouTube at Pin to Gas and rewatch it, or go to my Facebook and rewatch it. And if you can wait, it'll be out on Spotify, iHeart, all that good stuff tomorrow. And I'll tag you and shoot you a text and all that with when the links come up. And Kamisha, she says, "Oh, thank you for the kind words. See you at the track. Wishing everyone an amazing season." Listen, the Moors, it's always an honor to see you guys. I love the hugs. I love the energy. I love the laughs. I can't wait to see you guys soon. Absolutely. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Will Moore, appreciate you guys tuning in. We will catch you next time. All right, well, hang on. Let me end this real quick. Just stay on with me just for 1 second.
Yeah.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.